It wasn't a leap. It didn't happen overnight. But today, looking back, I know exactly what pulled me out of that phase where everything was scarce. Time, money, confidence, and brought me here. A wealthy, powerful woman in every sense that matters. And before you start imagining figures and figures, let me tell you what wealth truly means to me. It's having choice, structure, direction, and a voice. It's knowing exactly who I am, what I build, and how far I can go. It's not depending on anyone, not begging, not scrambling for space. There were 7 strategies that changed my game. And they aren't magic. They're practical, repeatable, straightforward. And if you apply them, with your truth, at your pace, you'll become that woman too. Wealthy, powerful, free. If this resonates with you, like this video and subscribe to the channel now, because what comes next is real, personal, and it could be the switch for you, just like it was for me. 1. I stopped working to look busy and started working to build real wealth. For years, I thought being constantly busy was a sign of progress. My calendar full, back-to-back meetings, deadlines flying. But the truth? I was exhausted, unproductive, and financially stuck. The turning point came when I reviewed my last 30 days and realized everything I was doing kept me busy, but it wasn't making me wealthier. That's when I asked myself the toughest question. What, among all I do today, actually builds my net worth? I started cutting. I stopped accepting meetings with no clear purpose. I eliminated tasks I could delegate. I restructured my routine to prioritize what generated revenue and real growth. Today I work fewer hours, but each of my hours is worth more. Because now I don't work to seem productive. I work to deliver results. To build a structure that sustains and grows even when I'm offline. If you're still confusing effort with wealth, you might be doing too much and growing too little. Comment here. I focus on what builds wealth. If this point made you review your own routine with more rigor. 2. I decided to stop asking for permission to be powerful. I was always that woman who spoke cautiously, who softened opinions, who prefaced each sentence with "I think," so I wouldn't seem arrogant. Until one day, in a negotiation, I was bulldozed by someone with less experience, but way more presence. And right then I realized, if you don't assert yourself, you get sidelined. Changing wasn't easy. The first time I spoke firmly, my voice shook. But I promised myself I would never shrink again to fit spaces where my power didn't belong. I began training my language, adjusting my tone, sitting at the table as the project owner, even if I was still scared inside. And little by little, the responses changed. The looks changed. The contracts changed. My breakthrough came when I stopped waiting for someone to give me permission to grow. I gave it to myself. That's when I understood. Power is a silent decision you make with yourself, and the world aligns to it. Are you still asking permission, or have you realized that posture comes before validation? Comment, I don't ask permission anymore, if this point resonated with the woman who already knows she deserves more. 3. I turned my communication into capital. For a long time, I used my voice just to do the basics. Reply to emails, post shy stories, write generic captions. But one day it hit me. If I'm not clear about who I am, what I deliver, and why it matters, nobody will pay me what I deserve. That's when I started treating my communication as an asset, not a detail, a pillar, and everything changed. I mapped out my message, rewrote my bio, started speaking like an expert, named my processes. Each piece of content now had purpose: educate, position, or sell. And most importantly, I stopped speaking from fear. I started speaking from knowing, from solving, from being ready. What happened next? My audience began engaging with confidence. My prices went up. My leads came ready to buy. My name started appearing in spaces that previously ignored me. All because I understood. Those who speak with clarity, receive with authority. Are you using your voice to grow or to hide? Comment, my voice is an asset. If you realize that your communication can and should build your next level. 4. I started investing in myself like a 7-figure business. Before, every time I thought about paying for a course, a mentorship, or a tool, the doubt came. Do I really need this right now? But that mindset kept me small. I'd spend on distractions, but freeze when it was time to grow. Then I realized, if I want to be big, I need to treat myself like I'm big. I started small. First a mid-range mentorship, then an upgrade to the tools I used. I invested in a professional look, even when no one was watching. I hired help for what I didn't master. Each investment, no matter how small, came with a decision. I am the priority. And that move created something magical. It pushed me to act. Because when you put money on the table, you commit differently. You show the universe and yourself that you're betting on your own growth. Today, my investments in myself pay off in every negotiation, every sale, every yes I receive. Because the world can't see you as a 7-figure woman if you don't treat yourself like one first. Are you spending to distract yourself or investing to grow? Comment. I invest like I'm building millions. If this point made you take a braver look at where your money is going. I stopped accepting invitations that didn't match the woman I'm becoming. This was one of the hardest cuts and one of the most transformative. For a long time, I said yes to everything. Events that didn't align, partnerships that didn't respect my worth, meetings that just distracted me. Also, I wouldn't seem rude, ungrateful, or difficult. But little by little, it started costing me. Drained energy, packed calendar, lost focus. I was saying so many yeses to others that I had no room left for my own plans. That's when I asked myself a question that became my mantra. Does this choice bring me closer or pull me away from the woman I'm becoming? If it pulled me away, it was a no. No explanation, no guilt, no sugarcoating. And the magic? When I started saying no with confidence, the right opportunities began to show up. Because the universe respects those who respect themselves. And so does the market. Today, every space I enter has intention. Every yes I give matters. Because I no longer live on autopilot, I choose with vision. Are you still saying yes just to please, or are you choosing with discernment? Comment. My yes is strategic. If you realize that growth requires unapologetic prioritization. 6. I started treating my time like a sacred resource. Before, my time was public. Everyone had access. A message on WhatsApp? I replied. A meeting off scope? I scheduled it. A request for help? I squeezed it in. Until I realized my time was way too valuable to be treated like something free. The turning point came when I calculated how much I lost daily with interruptions, unplanned tasks, and decisions made without intention. The number was scary. That's when I decided, my time isn't just a calendar, it's a strategy. I created untouchable focus blocks, set fixed hours for meetings, silenced notifications, set firm boundaries even with close people. And guess what? I produced more in 4 hours than I used to in 12. My results improved. My peace did too. Because free time became space to think, create, and make sharp decisions. Now, if someone wants to be on my calendar, they need to justify how that moves my vision forward. That's not arrogance. It's self-management. Are you treating your time like wealth or like leftovers? Comment. My time is protected. If you realize that freedom starts with how you manage your 24 hours. 7. I stopped doubting my vision just because no one understood it. The loneliest part of my breakthrough was this. Holding tight to a vision that at first no one understood. Not friends, not family, not coworkers. People said it was over the top, that I should slow down, that maybe it wasn't for me. And for a while I almost believed them. But one night, after yet another comment dismissing my plan, I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, if I don't take myself seriously, who will? I decided to shield my vision. I spoke less, showed more, swapped opinions for execution. And while the world talked, I built. It was 90 intense days. Then came the results. And with them, the praise from the same people who once doubted me. But by then, I didn't need their approval. I had already validated myself. Now, when a new idea visits, I listen. When the plan feels too big, I move forward. Because I've learned the only permission that matters is mine. Are you waiting for someone to understand? Or are you ready to move forward without applause? Comment. I stay loyal to my vision. If this final strategy reminded you of something you always knew, but maybe forgot along the way. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that there's no magical moment when everything aligns. What there is the woman who decides to change before she feels ready, who starts with what she has, who holds on to the vision even when no one's clapping. These 7 strategies didn't come from theory. They came from experience, from necessity, from the urgency of becoming the woman I knew I could be. If you apply these strategies with truth, consistency, and focus, you'll become that woman too. Wealthy, powerful, unshakable. Now comment. I'm building my wealth and power starting today. I want to know who's on this journey with me. And if this content resonated, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a woman who needs this push. Because it's not about luck. It never was. It's about decisions. And you've just received 7 of the most important ones I've ever made.